Let's take up chemicals in food. Chemicals are added to food for their preservation, enhancing their appeal, adding nutritive values in them. Main categories of food additives are as follows: food colors, which do not have nutrition value, and edible colors should be used less as possible. Flavors and sweeteners are used. Some of the artificial sweeteners are better, particularly for diabetic patients. Fat emulsifiers and stabilizing agents also do not have much nutrition value. Fluor improvers, anti-stalling agent and bleaches are used. Antioxidants like BHA, butylated hydroxyanisole, and BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene, they are used as antioxidant in butter. Food preservatives are used to increase the shelf life, and nutritional supplements such as minerals, vitamins, and amino acids, they have nutritional value. None other has nutrition values. So except nutritional supplement, none of the additives have any nutritional value. Rather, they only increase the shelf life of the stored food. Let's take up artificial sweetening agents. They are boon for the diabetic patients because diabetic patients have high blood glucose, so they need to take such alternatives which do not add to the calories. Natural sweeteners, that is sucrose, add to calorie intake, and therefore many people prefer to use artificial sweeteners, and they are also useful for obese patients which have got overweight. Orthosulfobenzimide, which is popularly called saccharine, is the first popular artificial sweetening agent which was being used for a long time. It is around 550 times as sweet as cane sugar. It is excreted from our body in urine unchanged. It appears to be entirely inert and harmless when taken. Its use is of great value to diabetic patients and people who need to control intake of calories, and its cost is also less. Let's take up few artificial sweeteners. First is aspartame. This is the structure of aspartame. This is aspartic acid, and here we have phenylalanine. So these are formed from amino acids. Its sweetness value in comparison to sugar is 100. Next we have saccharine, whose sweetness value is 550, and this is the structure of saccharine. Sucralose is derivative of sucralose. This is sucrose, and this is the structure. It has 600 times sweetness, but its intake does not add to the calories. Allitame is also formed from amino acids, and its sweetness is 2000 times than the sugar. Aspartame, although it is most successful and widely used, but is roughly 100 times as sweet as cane sugar. It is methyl ester of dipeptide formed from aspartic acid and phenylalanine. Use of aspartame is limited to cold drinks because it decomposes at cooking temperature. It can be used in cold drinks, but not in tea, coffee, where heating is required and it's unstable at high temperature. Allitame is high potency sweeteners, although it is more stable than aspartame, but its control of sweetness of the food is difficult while using it. Sucralose is trichloro-derivative of sucrose. Its appearance and taste is like sugar. It is stable at cooking temperature. It does not provide calories, so it is being largely used. Next, we are taking food preservatives. Food preservatives are chemicals which prevent the spoilage of food due to microbial growth. The commonly used food preservatives are salt, sugar, vegetable oils, sodium benzoate. Sodium benzoate is used in limited quantity and is metabolized in our body. Salts of sorbic acid and propanoic acid are also used as preservative. Sodium benzoate is most commonly used in cold drinks as a preservative. Next topic is cleansing agents. Soaps and detergents form cleansing agents. Soaps and synthetic detergents, they improve the cleansing property of water. That is, water cannot clean our clothes alone. So we need soaps or detergents for removing fats which bind to our fabric or our skin. First we are taking soaps. Soaps are sodium or potassium salts of higher fatty acids, and they are prepared by saponification of fats or oils. Fats are glyceryl ester of fatty acids. This is one of the fat, glyceryl ester of stearic acid. We can call it glyceryl stearate. It is treated with sodium hydroxide and saponification is taking place, and we will get sodium stearate, which is called soap, and side product obtained is glycerol or glycerine. which can be used for a variety of purposes. It is used in transparent soaps as well as cold creams. Soaps used for cleaning purposes are sodium or potassium salts of long fatty acids, for example, sodium stearate, sodium polypalmitate, sodium oleate, sodium mysterate, and so on. Soap containing sodium salts are formed by heating fat, that is glyceryl ester of fatty acid, with aqueous sodium hydroxide solution. This reaction is called saponification. In this reaction, ester of fatty acids are hydrolyzed and the soap obtained remain in colloidal form. It can be precipitated by adding sodium chloride, and due to common ion effect, the complete precipitation of soap takes place. The solution left after removing the soap contains glycerol, which can be recovered by fractional distillation and purified by distillation under reduced pressure, and is a very useful chemical. Only sodium and potassium soaps are soluble in water and used for cleaning purposes. Generally, potassium soaps are soft to the skin than sodium soaps, and that's why they are used for bathing purposes. These can be prepared by using potassium hydroxide in place of sodium hydroxide. Types of soap, there are a variety of soaps. All soaps are made by boiling fats or oils with suitable soluble hydroxide. Variations are made by using different raw materials which change their properties. Toilet soaps are prepared by using better grades of fats or oils, and care is taken to remove excess of alkali because this alkali is harmful for our skin. Color and perfumes are added to make this more attractive. Soaps that float in water are made by beating tiny air bubbles before their hardening. Transparent soaps are made by dissolving soap in ethyl alcohol or glycerol and then evaporating the excess of solvent. The advantage of these soap is they provide glycerine to our body, which is hygroscopic and keep our skin moist. In medicated soaps, substance like of medicinal value or antiseptic are added like bithionol. In some soap, deos are also added. Shaving soaps contain glycerol to prevent rapid drying because it absorbs moisture. A gum called rosin is added while making them. It forms sodium rosinate, which leathers well. In shaving soap, we need a lot of leather. That's why this foaming agent is used. Sodium rosinate stabilizes the leather and increases the leather. Laundry soap contain fillers like sodium rosinate, sodium silicate, borax, and sodium carbonate. Soap chips are made by running a thin sheet of melted soap onto a cool cylinder and scraping off the soap in small broken pieces. Soap granules are dried, miniature soap bubbles. Soap powders and scoring soaps contain some soap, a scoring agent that is abrasive, such as powdered pumic or finely divided sand, and builders like sodium carbonate and trisodium phosphate. Trisodium phosphate is also colgan, and it is used as water softener and helps in cleansing action because soft water can form enough leather with the soap solution. White soaps do not work with hard water. What is hard water? It contains soluble salts of calcium and magnesium ions, and calcium and magnesium ions react with soap, that is sodium salt of fatty acid, form insoluble calcium and magnesium salts of fatty acids, which is called scum. Soap, sodium stearate reacts with calcium chloride to form NaCl plus insoluble calcium stearate, which is called scum. If there is magnesium salt, that will react in the same manner and we get insoluble magnesium salt of fatty acid, which is also called scum. These insoluble soaps separate as a scum in water and are useless as a cleaning agent, so our soap goes waste. In fact, these are hindrance to the good washing because the precipitate adheres on the surface of the fiber of the cloth as gummy mass. Hair washed with hard water looks dull because of the sticky precipitate. So next we take up synthetic detergents. Synthetic detergents are cleaning agents which have all the properties of soap, but actually they are not soaps. They are sodium or potassium salts of sulfonic acid of alkenes type hydrocarbons or benzene. They can work with both soft water as well as hard water because their calcium and magnesium salts are not insoluble, rather they are soluble in water. And some of the detergents give foam even with ice cold water because they are more soluble than soaps. Synthetic detergents are of three types: anionic detergents, cationic detergents, and non-ionic detergents. First we will take up anionic detergents. Anionic detergents are sodium salt of sulfonated long chain alcohols or hydrocarbons. This is lauryl alcohol, which contains 12 carbon atoms. It is the alcohol containing 12 carbon atoms. Reacts with sulfuric acid and forms sulfonic acid. It's called lauryl hydrogen sulfate, which is reacted with alkali to form sodium lauryl sulfate, and it is one of the anionic detergent most commonly used. Do-decyl benzene, do-decyl means 12 carbon atom alkyl group, reacts with concentrated sulfuric acid and we get para-do-decyl sulfonic acid. And when we react it with NaOH, we get sodium do-decyl benzene sulfonate. It acts as detergents, anionic detergents, because the anionic part is large. That's why it is called anionic detergent. In anionic detergent, the anionic part of the molecule is involved in the cleansing action. Sodium salt of alkyl benzene sulfonates are important class of anionic detergents. They are mostly used for household work. Anionic detergents also are used in toothpaste. Cationic detergents are quaternary ammonium salts of amines with acetates, chlorides or bromide as anions. Cationic part possess a long chain hydrocarbon and a positive charge on the nitrogen atom, hence these are called cationic detergents. Cetyl trimethyl ammonium bromide is a popular cationic detergent. They are expensive and they have germicidal effect also. That's why they have limited use because of high cost. This is the structure of cetyl, means normal hexadecyl. That is, the 16 carbon atoms alkyl group is called cetyl. There are 3 methyl groups, so we call it trimethyl. This is ammonium bromide because it is quaternary ammonium salt. So the name is cetyl trimethyl ammonium bromide. Nitrogen has positive charge, that's why it is called cationic detergent. Next we have non-ionic detergents. They do not contain any ion in their structure. One such detergent is formed when stearic acid reacts with polyethylene glycol. Stearic acid, we are reacting with polyethylene glycol and we get this non-ionic detergents which is used in dishwashing. Liquid dishwashing detergents are non-ionic type. Mechanism of cleansing action of the soaps or detergent is same that of soaps, that they have hydrophilic and hydrophobic part. Hydrophobic part is hydrocarbon part which attracts dirt and grease. Hydrophilic part attracts water and dirt and grease is washed away. They remove grease and oil by micelle formation because these soap and detergents molecule aggregate together and form micelles and they carry out cleansing action. They entrap the dirt and grease which is washed away by hydrophilic water. Main problem that appears in use of detergent is their hydrocarbon chain. If it is highly branched, then bacteria cannot degrade it easily and they will create water pollution. Slow degradation of detergent leads to their accumulation and effluents containing such detergents reach the river, ponds, etc. These persist in water even after sewage treatment and cause foaming in rivers, ponds and streams, and their water gets polluted, which is harmful for aquatic animals. These days, the branching of hydrocarbon chain is controlled and kept to minimum. Unbranched chains can be biodegraded more easily, hence this pollution is prevented.